I'm Gary Erickson.
And I'm Tyler Hogue.
We became best buds through the heavy music scene.
And now we're doing a podcast, breaking down our favorite bands, albums, and shows.
This is All Consuming Podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to our deep dive episode for Demon Hunter, The World Is A Thorn. And just so people know, Tyler, what is a deep dive episode?
You know, a deep dive is when you go really high on the high dive and jump into a pool.
A deep pool?
I was always... This is something you don't know about me, and we're getting off track, Gary, but this is something you don't know about me.
We're like 10 seconds in.
Deep pools kind of scare me still.
Okay.
Like the really deep pools.
But okay, what about like open ocean or a big lake?
No, that's fine.
Oh, I'm not. Deep pools, I don't care, but you put me on a boat in the ocean and I'm like, there's a bigger fish in this water than me. And I'm suddenly not okay with being here.
No, a deep dive, Gary, is how we're gonna take these songs on The World Is A Thorn. And we're going to jump into each of them and talk about them track by track and have a great discussion and just really build off of our last episode where we kind of just talked about the album in general and Demon Hunter in general. And this is going to be more technical, more about the music itself.
So our last one was like, to keep the metaphor of water, getting our feet wet.
Ooh.
Oh.
We're getting our feet wet, and now we're about ready to dive in.
Yeah, so for this one, we're only going to do, 12 songs or so?
12 songs, yeah.
So we're doing the deluxe edition, but not all the acoustics and pieces like that. So, got a lot to cover.
So let's jump in, dude.
All right, track numero uno, Descending Upon Us.
So, I absolutely love this song. I had to think about, for a while, was this my favorite song on the album, or was it The World Is A Thorn? Because both those songs are up there for me. What I really like about this song, I think it really, really shows you the versatility of Demon Hunter. I think.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think it goes and it's a longer song, and it starts off, a little bit slower, but it goes from screaming and, fast drums, biker metal type of stuff to, I'd say, and I know you don't like this, Slipknot, it's towards the end. And man, it's a good song.
Yeah, I think it's a great song to start the album. And, I'm an album guy, so I like to listen to... I pick a whole thing, and I'm like, man, this is a great intro thematically for this album. But whenever it comes on shuffle, I skip it every time.
What?
Just because it takes a minute and a half to really start,
But then once it builds, it's like...
Yeah, well, and if I hang around, I'm like, okay, this was worth it. But it just takes... you got all these fun songs going on shuffle, and they're all fast and punchy, and you got your windows rolled down at the stoplight, and this song starts on super slow, and you're like, yeah, them's church bells.
Okay, but
it's coming.
It gets fun, though, Gary.
I'm not saying it's a bad song at all,
Yeah, and I think what I really like like I said, I like kind of how it goes. You know, versatility. It starts off slow, builds up, and like the bridge where I say it sounds like Slipknot. Like to me, like the way it's so hard to describe it, but like the way that Ryan's like whispering in a sense, talking.
It's like a low voice thing, like
yo, so
damage done.
Yeah. That
dude,
part,
that's Five Finger Death Punch, man.
Oh, see, I knew you were gonna go there, dude. You don't have to bring them into every conversation we have, bro.
Tyler.
No, but not
We've had
even
this.
Not even just the voice though, which I think is really that Corey Taylor Slipknot voice. It's the pinched harmonics. It's just the way the guitars, you know, are playing, and it's pretty cool. And it's not just this song. Like, I don't want people to think that it's just this song. They do that, right? Demon Hunter does that. Yeah. They're not like necessarily like copying Slipknot, I guess, but like it just has those vibes for me, and I'm here for that. I love that.
Yeah. So that's also my favorite part is the talking with the chug chug weep sound. You know, that yeah. Pinch harmonic. You know. I really like, so whenever we do these, you know, we dig through the lyrics and we read along and actually pay attention, right? We have focused study time because we got to talk about it and not, you know, we got to have a clue what we're talking about.
Right.
So one of the lyrics that really stuck out that I thought it was super clever was the lyric that says, hollow name of 5 encircled frame. I never knew what he said. I never paid attention.
Yeah.
And I had to think about it. And, you know, a 5 encircled frame is the pentagram. Right? It's a circle with the 5 points. And hollow name, like the devil. And the next line is like, deception incarnate, receive my vow of hate. Like, that's just like a really awesome way of saying, I hate you, devil. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, the way he does that and like, I don't know. I think just listening to it in passing, you could be like, I don't really know what he's talking about. Because it's so lyrical, like, and the words are metaphorical, and like I really like that. And if you're actually paying attention, you gain more from the song, I think.
Sure.
So the music catches you, and if you go in and pay attention to the lyrics, you'll be like, oh, that's cool. But yeah,
like I feel like it's really focused on standing like against, right, like all these like bad things, sin that's happened in our lives, right?
Right.
All the things that are descending and you're descending upon us, right? That's what I've always thought. I don't know for sure if that's what it is.
That's what I got, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're standing up against the godless things in the world.
Yeah. For sure. The next song, and I think it perfectly goes into this song. Like the ending of Descending Upon Us goes really well. It happens almost to perfection. To the next track, Life War.
Born from the fire, clean, crawling through the dirt like 5 years. My mother gave a voice, born, and I was dead, born again with eyes, born. 15, hate was the name of mine. Wash me in the river, give me to the pain of life.
It's a short song.
Yes.
It's a great like weightlifting song.
Ooh.
Not a great running song unless you like to stomp. You know, like yeah, like it. The tempo is kind of slow, but man, it's just a never-ending soundtrack, and like just that punch sound, you know, throughout the whole thing. But I think it's a super cool song lyrically. It's basically like the story of his life, you know, at 5 years, you know, and then he's like at age 10, at age 15, at age 20, and it's like all these steps and things he's going through. And you know, he wrote like a really cool paragraph thing about the song and just talking about every 5 years and like the things that happened in his life.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool, but it's also literally in the song. So
right. You know, and it's weird to think about, you know, like 5 years is a good number to look at. Like every 5 years, it feels like you're dealing with different like problems in your life, right? When you're 15, the worries, the things you're anxious about, all those types of things are way different than when you turn 30, right? The things you're thinking about. When you're 15, you're worried about schoolwork, you're worried about relationships at school or whatever. And then at 30, it's like you got kids, you got a job, you got your bills to pay. It's a completely different life war that you're going through.
Yep.
Right? And you kind of see this building in the lyrics that Ryan wrote. You see this building every 5 or whatever years, and it keeps moving. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think his biggest point was like, no matter what stage of life you're in, like you always think like, oh, I just need to get past like college or high school or something, and then my life's gonna get so much easier. But it's like, no, now it's just different. You're constantly at war as a Christian, for one.
Yes.
Like your whole life, and you're having to fight to survive and, you know, make a living, support for your family. Like roles change, and like every 5 years, you know, it's like we're never gonna escape this life war until the day we die, right?
Yeah.
But this is just a really cool like battle song for that, and the music video is pretty cool too.
I remember the first time I saw this music video, and I'm pretty sure you showed it to me, just like everything Demon Hunter was you've shown to me.
Probably.
And I think you advertised it like you just start off like he really gets punched in the face. And I was like, no way, he doesn't really get punched in the face. It's something fake. And I like watched it, and I was like, oh my goodness, he got punched in the face.
Yeah.
Like that music video, not only does it feel like the musically there's a punch, just a boom, boom, that beat, but he actually takes a punch, and it gets, man, that was cool. I should have watched it before this. Isn't it a one take?
Yeah. The whole thing is just one camera.
And he's like
standing in front of a like projector.
Yeah.
And there's like lighting on his face and all around him and stuff, and each part, you know, like a bucket of water gets thrown on him, and he keeps going, and like then he gets punched in the face by, I think, Jason Dunn, and you know, on and on it goes, and like he gets like paint on his face, and yeah, it's just.
It would be a shame, Gary, if we didn't talk about his facial hair that I'm now remembering in that video. He had his glorious beard.
He did.
And recently on our Discord and Instagram, we had that facial hair face-off type of thing.
Yeah, yep.
And Ryan Clark definitely deserved to be there, but isn't it gone now?
Oh yeah, for years now. Yeah, there was a big debate on the guys that ran the whole thing, part of the committee, and it's like, do we count current facial hair or all facial hair ever? And it's like they all agreed it would be a best of, like that they've ever had. And so they found a bunch of pictures on the internet, and some people were in charge of certain guys and other people were in charge of other guys. So some of the pictures found were like, you know, depends how hard you tried to find a picture for your guy. But yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, and Ryan's got even longer, I think, for the next one after this. But I remember when he shaved it, I was just like, I don't think I'm a fan of Demon Hunter anymore.
Who are you? You look completely different. Yeah.
Maybe I should shave my beard and see what happens.
You know, and Gary does have a long beard. I don't know how long it is. Gary, in inches, how long is it?
I don't know. 9 inches, maybe? 10?
9 inches. Jeez. And I have peach fuzz on my face, so that's about it. But yeah, I mean, this song is just like an awesome, super fast, like gets over quick. It's a quick song, but it is brutal and it's heavy and it punches you, and you can't help but just, like you said, wanting to go like work out. wanting to go get stuff done because this song gets you motivated.
So Tyler, let's get on to the next song, Collapsing.
That intro is not that heavy.
You got a problem with the intro?
I know that you really like this song, Gary. You said it's your favorite, right?
It's up there, yeah. I said it the other day. It might be different today.
Oh. It's just constantly changing?
Yeah. I'm allowed to change my mind, right?
That is true. Now, even though the intro is not heavy, I think this song is really great for people that have never heard Demon Hunter to listen to for the first time.
Yeah.
It has the best of both worlds. Some of one world I'm not the biggest fan of when they go all ballady, and then their heavy world.
Yeah, and they even do some electronic stuff.
They do.
And some crazy voice stuff, and I feel like this song is like super produced,
It is.
Like they were like, "Hey man, we need to make an amazing single for this new album coming out." Like, I wonder how many people they pass it off to get it worked on, cuz man, it's clean, and like the mix is amazing, and I mean musically, it hits all the marks, right? It starts off easy to hear. Simple electronic, do 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 do. It's the same guitar riff that's the whole way through. It just switches from electronic to that, and
right.
Yeah, super palatable to people like my wife who are like, "Who's Demon Hunter?" Like, well, let's not start off with something super heavy, but here, check this out.
Yeah, and just looking at like their Spotify plays for this album, I mean, it's leaps and bounds. It's 10 times more listened to than any other song. The second place song, Driving Nails, is 1.4 million, and Collapsing is 10.7 million. So I mean, it's definitely the most popular off of this album, and I think that's part of the reason why.
Totally. The chorus is my jam. Like, I don't know, it's just super catchy. It comes on, like, when the song's over, you can still be humming it. I remember, like, when we first heard this single with Glenn, our buddy from college.
Yeah.
So we've talked about Glenn a lot.
Yep.
Well, off and on. I don't know if any of it's ever made it. But the funniest part about Glenn...
Deleted scenes, or what?
Yeah. The funniest part about our friend... So he said, like, A Day to Remember was his favorite band.
Yeah.
And we'd be, like, playing A Day to Remember for a few days in the car. Whatever. Going to pick up a movie at this place called Blockbuster. Whatever
Whatever
we're
that place
going.
was, yeah.
And he'd be like, "Who's this?" And I'm like, "It's A Day to Remember." Your favorite band, Glenn.
Dude.
But anyway, around that time, right, we were hanging out with Glenn a lot, and this single came out, and the album came out, and all that, and I remember he really got into Demon Hunter for this album because of this song, and he really liked this song, and so I kind of always remember Glenn, like when the song comes on. Yeah, or like when it just gets stuck in my head sometime, I'll be like, I remember Glenn like singing it or humming it, like going through the grocery store or something. But good times.
Like when we call, like, you don't mean to call, like, we didn't mean to call Glenn out. He just asked who it was. We're like, dude, it's your favorite band. It's A Day to Remember. You're like, come on, And I've always had a fear, not necessarily a fear, but I always make sure when I wear a band T-shirt, I've got 3 songs right off the top of my head that I'm going to spill if somebody asks me, "Oh yeah, you like Led Zeppelin? Name 3 songs." right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Or,
right,
hey,
right.
like Bring Me the Horizon? I don't have a Bring Me the Horizon shirt. I don't even know why I thought of Bring Me the Horizon. But I would know if I wore a Bring Me the Horizon.
If you wore that shirt, you'd be in trouble.
No, I'd make sure I had 3 songs.
Yeah, I do that too. I'm like, all right, I'm wearing Sleeping Giant today. Like, what songs are they going to ask me about?
Yeah, and then you say, like, a popular one, like Poser. Deep tracks only.
You're not a real fan. Deep tracks only.
Deep tracks only.
It's Sleeping Giant, man. They're all deep tracks.
See, and sometimes we want to be the gatekeepers and, like, just let people wear whatever they want to wear, you know?
Yeah. So let's roll back to collapsing.
Oh, yeah.
In on myself. I don't know why. Oh, that's the chorus again in my head.
You're so right, though, dude. Like, this chorus is so catchy. The way he sings it, the words, everything, you are right. You're humming it all the time. You asked me. This is a year ago, maybe, or 6 months ago, some random time. We weren't even talking about Demon Hunter. At this point, you probably thought I didn't even like Demon Hunter. Or maybe you
True.
still, I don't know.
I'm still not sure yet.
Still fully not sure. But I was just like, and you're like, oh, so you've been listening to Demon Hunter. I'm like, no, I heard that song 15 years ago, and it's still in my head.
Yeah, I remember you doing that with Undying, and I'm like, what? You don't like Demon Hunter? Quit singing Undying.
Oh, that's a good song, too. Yeah.
So, my favorite part of this song is, like, after that chorus repeat, for the 18th time, it, like, the music, like, gets all quiet, and he, like, does that 5-finger death punch mumble thing. He's like, no vow of silence, no remission of truth. And it's just guitars for days. Like, that's such a fun song. That part. Awesome breakdown, awesome guitars.
That is by far, in my opinion, the best part of this song.
Not the album?
No, just the song.
What I really like after that guitar is how, when it comes back into the chorus, right? This is where I mean it's really well produced. It comes back, and the music is kind of gone. It's just still that, like, synth sound or the electronic sound, whatever they're doing. With all treble, there's no bass, and it's just like how the intro sounded, right? Just so simple musically, and he sings the chorus again, like, but it's way, like, at the end of a breakdown, kind of like that. It's just like a breath of fresh air. It's just, I don't know, the way that they did this is just, it's just a very well written song. It's very well done.
Absolutely.
And then comes back into the regular chorus with the same punch for that whole outro,
Yeah.
It's great.
So your favorite bridge part. No vow of silence, no remission of truth.
Mm-hmm.
I think that totally, like, really just summarizes what this song's about. So, Gary, what do you think that means?
I'm pretty sure it's about standing up for what you believe as a Christian, like the truth, right? Yeah. Maybe you're surrounded by people who've already made their decision in life, and, like, I'm not a Christian, and I'm not going to ever be, and my decision has been made, and this is my faith or lack of faith or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of, those people in your life where you're like, like they're not going to, it's a lost cause. And this song is kind of like singing to them, that they're collapsing in on themselves. And that bridge is to tell us, right? No vow of silence, like, don't stop. No remission of truth. Keep going. Like, you have to keep telling them the truth.
It's so hard sometimes, though, like, when I'm thinking about those lyrics and thinking about my life. I have so many of my friends, I would say, my really good friends. Like, I think I might have more non-believer friends than believer friends. For sure. No. Like, I don't even think it's a question. And it's so hard to have this mindset all the time, but we should think about it, right? And not be that type of idea of, like, where you're just that super awkward Bible thumper or whatever, which I don't know if those tactics are the best tactics. But the idea where you can still share the gospel consistently with people that don't know Christ, that are in your circle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people, not saying you do, not trying to, accuse you. A lot of people, Tyler, they have that mindset, which is correct, that, we have to show them how we live. We have to be friends with them and be part of their lives.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to make that step of, okay, we're friends. How do I now present the Bible to them to show them that I'm not like, you're going to hell unless you repent? Or, how do you take that next step? And it's such a hard thing. And I think that's kind of what this song is getting at. That, like, you see your friend, like, collapsing in on themselves. Mm-hmm. And he says, I see the weight of hollow death residing in you. Like, people like me who struggle with what happens after we die.
Right.
Does nothing happen? We're just dead? Like, is there no hope? Like, what's the point of living? Like, why are we on this planet? And I think it's, people struggle with that. And I think it's so easy for us to just be like, yeah, but they don't believe. Like, I don't really know where I'm going with this rabbit trail, but what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And it's so hard because it's not like it's okay to have friends and be with people that are not Christian. But it's not okay to not be a Christian around those people. Yeah. And there's that balance and this idea of not letting those people just go down that path, right? Seeing them on that track and realizing that I'm still going to do all I can to preach the truth. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm not taking a vow of silence now because I know you're not, and I'm not going to hold back truth. Mm-hmm. Right? And so in those instances, still proclaiming Christ. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome message for this song.
Really cool song.
Yeah. And that brings us to track number 4. This is the line.
So I've never heard a Demon Hunter song. I'm thinking now. Yes, I've never heard a Demon Hunter song where they do like an ooh or like a vocal instrument in the background.
Yeah.
And so like it's kind of spooky and it's like yeah, so Tyler, what's your take on this song? How does this rank in the list of Tyler approved Demon Hunter tracks?
It's Tyler approved. I'll put my stamp of approval on it. You get past the ooze, and there's some meat to this, man. There's some chunky, tasty meat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like a lot of the parts I think are awesome. I think also, and I'm getting ahead of myself, I think this song really showcases Ryan screaming. There's a lot of cool parts, and he does a lot of different stuff that he doesn't do all the time. I think what I really like it's the end of the verse, maybe even the first verse, and he says, "We will bring their neck to the line," but the way he screams it
kind of sounds like a demon or something.
Yeah,
he sounds very like, evil.
Yeah, and it's a different type of scream that maybe you would hear on like some more like a deathcore song or something like that.
Yeah, it's a higher pitch, more like shrill. It's honestly, it sounds like it hurts.
Yeah, it does.
Like I like if I were to try to scream along or something, I'd be like in tears and like, oh, my throat would be hurting.
And you don't hear him do that often on songs, and so I thought that was kind of unique. But I think my favorite part is like the bridge or pre-chorus, whatever it is, after it, right? The scum of the earth, power of air, you wanted the world will bury you there. Like, I love the way that's screamed or snarled, however you would say that. You know, that's classic Ryan Clark vocals. I love it.
You know, something else they do that I can't really think of when they do is group shouts.
Yeah, they do.
Because they have group shouts in the chorus.
Dude, this was the group shout era, though.
Yeah.
Like, this is prime group shout era. Everyone was doing it.
You guys got your guitar solos. They don't really do breakdowns, but they kind of have like a groove breakdown kind of thing sometimes.
Yep.
But then they got their group shouts. Like, every song, you know, has that. And, like, do you have the part where the music cuts out and it's just voices? Like, yeah, we got that part.
Yeah, we got it.
Like, all right, so this song's good to go. This is done.
This is 2010s approved. Or, yeah, 2010s approved.
So I like the raspy singing for the chorus. You know, it's he's kind of like, I don't know. It's like coming from his gut. It's a grunt kind of sing.
Yeah.
I feel like they start to do that a lot more after this album.
They do.
Instead of just like his clean singing, you know, he's got this like, I don't know, thrice
in between
voice.
Yes. Yeah. I like this part a lot, and I think it's the end of the song, so that's why I didn't want to go yet.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not technically the end of the song. When he says, for the last time, he says, "You wanted the world, we'll bury you there," and he holds it out. His scream. And if you listen to it, really, like, just listen to it, it sounds really raw. Like, going back to what we built this podcast on, it's raw talk, man. It's raw talk. Like, you listen to his scream, and you're like, dude, he did that with passion. And, like, it's probably not easy for him to do that type of scream where he's holding it out. And it's really cool, man. Like, I really like that part, too.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just shows, like I said earlier, this just shows like his versatility, because you don't really think of Ryan Clark as this kind of versatile like singer.
Who doesn't? That's one of my favorite reasons. That's one of the reasons I really like Ryan Clark.
Okay, singer, yes. I'm thinking like scream wise. I always think of him as just he has that one bark, which is great. But this really is like a bunch of different things he's done in This Is the Line, and I love it.
Yeah. You know, the part right after that, the literal ending, I just love the way the song ends.
Yeah.
With just the, whose side are you on? And the music chopping with it, and just done. Song's over.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, and it goes, it's great too, because I mean, that symbolizes what the song is. The quick cut, this is the line that's drawing the same.
Yeah,
we're not going any farther than this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Boom, cut.
So, shall we move on to track 5?
My favorite song.
Your favorite song?
No, absolutely not.
Driving Nails.
So, it's well known by you now and the whole world that I'm not
you're
the
on
biggest.
Blast. Everyone knows, Tyler.
Everyone knows. This is not my favorite Demon Hunter song. It is actually my least favorite on the album. Gary.
I'm not even going to address it.
And it pains me. You're going to address it. I'm going to make you right now, young man. It pains me to say it too, because I know you like this song for some reason. So maybe you should start off right now. Let's use this
reason.
time. Let's use this time.
So, would you say this is your least favorite Demon Hunter song, like, ever?
No.
You have a least favorite, like, do you know?
No. I just know. I can't name
know
it
there's
because
something
I
out there
haven't.
that's worse.
I can't name it because I haven't listened to it. But on the most recent 2 albums, I guarantee you, I can find something.
Well, I'm hurt.
So right now, Gary, use this time. Convince me why Driving Nails is a banger.
Okay, so first, it's not a banger. Have you listened to it? It's Tyler. It's a rock ballad.
Oh, gosh.
So
yeah.
okay, my first time hearing this song, when it first came out, not the deluxe edition, I was in love. Loved it. Like the voice, the music, the rock that transitions to orchestra, like Red style, and then back into rock. Like, I thought that was so cool. But when the deluxe edition came out, and they have the string mix, so no drums, no guitars, you just got violin and cellos, and I just love that version so much. And re-listening to the rock one, I'm just like, I'm torn because I want them to go heavier or softer, not where it is now, right? So if someone said Driving Nails is a perfect song and they didn't mean the stringed version, I would completely disagree.
Oh,
the string version of this is definitely a top 10 Demon Hunter song for me.
Whoa. You dropped a bomb on me, son.
But this version that we're talking about,
you still like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really boring.
Okay, then don't give me hate for it then.
I wouldn't say it's the worst song on the album.
Okay, so here's my deal with it. And, like, I'll be positive. Lyrics are cool. Lyrics are fine.
The stuff he says is all right.
Great. It's great to realize that you're sinful and you should be better. And sanctification's great. Like, that's awesome. And I love that. And it's the Christian journey. And the song really emphasizes that. But, dude, when those strings kick in towards the end of the song,
it's the best part.
Am I listening to Skillet?
Skillet doesn't really have that much, do they? I guess I don't listen to them enough.
I'm pretty
to,
sure they
to
do.
know.
If I'm gonna listen, here's the deal. Like,
I've always associated Red.
Yeah,
Red has tons of orchestrated, pieces.
They do. If I'm gonna listen to violin in a rock song, it's gonna be Yellow Card, Ocean Avenue. Come on, like, that's where it's gonna be. You have to go to pop punk, or punk, or whatever that was, emo, to really get that in there. This, for me, and I know people are just gonna roast me on this, it kills me, man.
I think your problem is your music background, like what you like, is more of a punk background.
Yeah.
Not a metal background. Like not like rock, right? Metal, I guess. Where like, cuz metal, classical metal and stuff, in the way that's done, it relates better with orchestras and those types of instruments, just how that music is made.
Yeah.
But punk is more hard, you're more into the hardcore, the choppy,
right.
And so when a guitar, you probably don't care too much for guitar solos.
Despise them, actually. Think they take away from the brutalness of songs.
You would rather have a chunky breakdown.
Oh.
Where you can punch walls.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think you're onto something. I think there definitely is truth to that. I am definitely like pop punk and nu metal. And I think nu metal kind of goes along with that too. That's really what got me into the genre. And then I'm into metalcore. And I would say my favorite stuff now, new stuff, is more along the hardcore.
Yeah.
For sure. Interesting.
And I like it all.
Look at you, Gary.
So
being all wise.
Let's go back to the song.
Oh, yeah.
So your least favorite part is my favorite part. I really like that final chorus, with the violin, the rock cuts out, and is it just a violin? Is that all it is?
Yeah.
Because I think that piece is the same in the string mix. It's just instead of this full orchestra sound, it's just the violin again. But just like it's kind of a breakdown, but not without the break part, just the down part.
It's just a down.
But when he sings that chorus and it's super relaxed and peaceful, like, I think it sounds beautiful. Tyler's falling asleep. And when it comes back in, though, like with that guitar slide, and it's back into the chorus again, it's bigger, more rock, more sound, I guess, and just outros that way, very big. Like, I just think it's a really well done song, especially with the lyrics and the meaning behind all of it.
Absolutely. And I did just kind of brush over the lyrics, but the lyrics are awesome, man. It really is. And this is like, you don't realize, and maybe you do, but I don't realize until I really dive deep how Christian Demon Hunter lyrics are.
Yeah.
You know, and so diving into these, you really see it, and it's most every song has Christian elements to it.
And if you don't know this song, it is their second most played song on the album. But you should check it out.
And then just the imagery you get with driving nails, right? Like the idea of the crucifixion and stuff. And so lyrically, this song's great. And if you're here for the lyrics, like, that's awesome. You know, and I do remember, Gary, like, when this came out, like, it, just to set the tone too. When I would get in Gary's Jeep, Gary used to be a Jeep guy. He kind of identified with being a Jeep guy. And when I got into his Jeep, there'd be things like Walk On by Haste Today, or, you know, we would listen to As I Lay Dying, or whatever it was, but it was always something brutal. And I do vividly remember listening to Driving Nails and you loving it, and me just thinking the whole time, like, what is going on, man? Is this
what happened to my friend?
Is this the Gary that I know? And yeah, I remember it and just thinking about it, and you're just loving it and belting it out. But
you know, there are some songs I don't play with the windows rolled down.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I always just feel so awkward if my music isn't obnoxious with the windows rolled down. Like, it's got to be loud and fast and angry. Sure. And so, like, whenever, like, I would play this album and my windows were rolled down, and if Driving Nails came on, I'd skip it.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't one to share with the neighbors.
But when you're rolling on the freeway, windows up, you just start belting.
Long road trips, you know, that's when you open up your heart.
That's your jam. Yeah. Cool, man. All right, so then let's move on to, we go from probably my least favorite song on the album to my favorite, The World Is A Thorn.
I really like just the chunky, chuggy guitars, the fast drums, and even the parts where, like, the guitars stop and the drums keep going, or the drums stop and the guitars are just, like, you know, doing that horse trot, you know, galloping sound, where it's just like chugga, chugga, chugga. I mean, it's probably their heaviest song on the album. Yes. I don't know if there's even clean vocals on it.
No, there's kind of like a little bit of a whisper-ish thing at the end, talk, your favorite Five Finger Death Punch, kind of.
You mean your Slipknot thing?
But then it builds back up to him screaming. I think this is the heaviest song on the album. It's like Life War if Life War was fast. You know what I mean? Like, Life War is heavy, like, you know what I mean? But this is fast and heavy. So I think for sure, I think you'd say that this is the heaviest, and it's kind of groovy, like you said, when the drums like get going, even though the guitar stops, the galloping, you got to bob your head to it, you know. And I think the reason, not just musically, but I think the reason why I really, really like this song, like probably top 5 Demon Hunter for me, is the chorus. This chorus slaps, man. Like, you can't not sing it. And it's not like a sing, but you can't not scream it because you just want to, like, shout it, you know, and feel it. And you just feel his passion when he's saying, like, hey, all of these things that want me to bow to them, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's cool, man. It's really
That's
cool.
like one of my favorite lines, like, that they did on this album. That
Yeah.
It's in the chorus, I'm pretty sure, where he says, "Won't love a world where my God is mocked.
Yeah.
I defy." Like, so cool.
Yeah. Just all the I won't bow, the won't bow part, won't bow to man, won't bow to government, won't bow to greed, won't bow to false hope, won't bow to self, won't bow to modern code, won't sell my soul to a dead world. Like that part, that's the outro. Yeah. So good. So good.
I love that too, yeah. Because halfway through it, like, it picks up.
Yes.
Because at first he says it like, you can tell he's like gritting his teeth. And he's like, "Won't bow to man." And he's like talking, saying it.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. And halfway through it, you know, the music comes back in and it picks up and you have that high guitar sound on each line that's like, wee.
Yeah.
And it just gets higher and higher until he gets to the I defy. And then, so cool. So
I think you're right. I think it's the anger in it, you know, and it's like it's like a good anger. That sounds weird, but it's like this good like anger to where
it's kind of like a war cry, you know.
Yes.
It's like he's ticked off, man. Like he's so tired of the world trying to like destroy basically everything he believes, and he's like, "I'm not going to bow down. I'm going to keep fighting," and he's super pissed about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, yeah, me too, man. I'm with you, Ryan. Yeah.
Let's go. But the perfect illustration, and you did it, and I hope we play it in our episode. He's gritting his teeth, and he's just like clenching his fist, you know, and it's just, you can just feel it. Like everything is just tight because he's ready to just fight, you know? And I think that's the feeling of the entire song. And it makes you want to move, man. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, and so like the beginning of the song is about like all these things that are like, you know, tearing us down and trying to pull us away and do all this. And the way it transitions to that breakdown and that outro when he says, "Pull your sickness from my throat.
Oh yeah.
Let me breathe the truth." Yeah,
and just every time it comes in with the chorus and then it changes, you know, towards the end, and I think that line, this is the greatest like way to like describe this album maybe, is won't love a world where my God is mocked. Right? And you said that line earlier, but I think if you were to summarize, like, okay, give me one line from a song about what The World Is A Thorn as an album is about, and I think it has to be that. Right?
Yeah.
He's not going to love a world where his God is mocked. And this is about that.
Yep. And fighting for it. Totally. So with that note, let's transition to the next song, which is even more so about, you know, The World Is a Thorn.
Yes.
And that song is Tie This Around Your Neck. This song, when I first heard it, I thought the "tie this around your neck" line was like Ryan Clark telling the world or other people, like
go kill yourself. Oh my gosh. Nice. What imagery?
Like, yeah. So I was like, dang, this song's dark. Like it gets heavy, but no. That is what the world is telling him, right? The heathens will say, tie this around your neck. And the song's basically like, the world is telling us all these ways for us to hang a noose around our neck or to add weight to our shoulders.
Yeah.
And the whole point of this song is the reverse of that. That's like, no, save your breath, my son. Just carry on home. You leave. And so, and what that is like, it makes me go back and think, the world always tells us that you should lead yourself. You are your best boss. Follow your heart, all these things. And when we do that kind of thing, it never works out. Yeah. In fact, the Bible says that we should guard our heart, protect it. But Disney and commercials and things are, any show you watch, the whole thing is resolved because they say, follow your heart. Oh, you're right. Let me go follow my heart and my true love will love me and whatever it is, right? Whatever. Yeah. But the truth is that is not the truth. Yeah. The truth is that you're adding weight to your neck when you're relying on yourself. So anyway, I just thought it was a good turnaround, especially with what I thought the original thought, you tie this around your neck, you sinful man.
That's funny because I did think it was not necessarily about him saying go kill yourself, but almost as a warning, like, hey, these things that you're doing, these burdens, these worldly things that you're doing in your life, dude, you are putting a noose around your neck. You're slowly killing yourself. Warning him.
Yeah, and like you think about like the Bible where it talks about, when you lead people astray, that it's like tying a millstone around your neck.
Yeah.
And, getting thrown into the sea. And that's what I thought it was like, oh, it's about heretics. It's about false teachers. It's about leading people astray. It's about lying about the Bible. And so that's what I thought. He's like, hey, you tie this around your neck. But it's really, the world is saying with the chorus, we feed on pain, disorder, delusion, the filth of the modern plague. Right. And in this reign of godlessness, the heathens that are doing this will say, you too, tie this around your neck. Like, come join us. Take on this burden. Like, be sinful like us. And Ryan Clark is, saying, no thanks. Save your breath.
Yeah. I do think like it just is awesome on the chorus. It is unreal. Like just the way they do it and to make it not seem stale because you hear it a bunch like this. It's repeated, 8 times or whatever or more. And each time it's just like, this is awesome.
I like the way they make that sound too. Cause it's like, it's ominous sounding.
Yes.
So it kind of feels like some shady guy is like, tie this around your neck.
Yeah.
And you got those higher guitar notes in the background and it kind of seems spooky with like a synth sound or something. And it builds to him saying fool.
Yes.
So
good. Yeah. And we can't beat around the bush here, Gary. There's a breakdown in this song.
Uh-huh.
And I like it. So yeah. And this song's heavy. There is singing, but I mean, this song's heavy. Like we've gone from driving nails to 2 straight up like heavy bangers in a row. And it doesn't disappoint. Like when it goes from breakdown to the singing part, but to tie this around your neck at the very end, you want more of it.
What do you think of that at the very, very end? The last tie this around your neck and he says full, right? He holds it. He just says full. Anyway, it's like an electronic breakdown thingy going out.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I like it.
Reminds me of like Emery early days.
Yeah.
They would, here's something.
I can definitely see that. Yep. I think the songs at first, I mean, I think Life War and Tie This Around Your Neck were my first two like favorite songs on the album, because I think right away you can listen to them and be like, wow, these are heavy, these are great. This is maybe more towards that metalcore, hardcore genre that I like. And even though it's not my favorite song on the album, probably my second or third favorite, it's still like, man, it's so good. It's great. It's another one where like, if somebody like made me like give them like Demon Hunter songs to get them into it, like, hey, I've never listened to Demon Hunter before, make me a playlist. This has to be on that playlist. Has to.
I can support that thought.
I think we need to transition, so let's just breathe, which coincidentally is the name of the next song.
So clever. Is that how you want to transition?
Sure.
I love the way this song starts because it reminds me of Collapsing. Like, it starts similarly, but instead of that longer, drawn-out, peaceful chorus, catchy thing, it's just like, oh, wow, it's jumping straight in. Like, those drums are going fast, the guitars are going fast. Like, you could tell, like, this is going to be a quick one. But
and it's produced, kind of has a little bit like that electronic thing like you're talking about with Collapsing. But I think the song, like, it's the guitar tones seem different, heavy. Like during the verses, like for me when I listen to it, it's like that is a different tone than I feel like I hear a lot in the previous songs of this album, and it just feels like really heavy. And vocally, you might know this. I don't know. I should have looked it up. Who's the one that screams after the first and second verse? It says seemingly endless beckoning debt. That lyric. Is that Ryan Clark or is that the guest vocalist?
Yeah, that's the guest. Christian Alvestam.
Okay. I love his vocals. Dude, his screams sound awesome. We do have a little bit of everything in here, though. We got our group shouts. We've got a guitar solo. We've got screaming and singing and heavy guitars. It's a good song. It's a really good song. And I think I just recently said that it's 2 straight heavy songs. It's 3 straight heavy songs.
Yep.
Right? Like, I mean, we got to realize that we got a little Pat Demon Hunter on the back for this. 3 in a row of just pretty brutal songs, man.
Yeah, I love the chorus for this one. So I think I've mentioned in other episodes before, but if lyrics talk about breathing, like, I relate to that because I'm a big fan of breathing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you are too.
Sure am.
But just the lyrics of, like, just breathe, like, those 2 words. I think Killswitch has a song that has it. I think Becoming the Archetype has a song that has it. But whenever it's, like, a breakdown or something or a chorus and they say just breathe, like, I immediately love it.
Yeah.
But this chorus is like he sings it and you think it's not going to be that heavy, but the whole time the drums are just going so fast. Like, I bet you Yogi's arms and legs were dead if they ever played this.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part, Tyler?
I really like the guest vocalist screams. I think the most after the verse. I think Ryan screaming and then like having a different vocalist screaming, right? Like having like 2 vocalists screaming is like a pretty cool dynamic. I love it. when you have like on, For Today tracks or Sleeping Giant, and you have like these guest vocalists not there to sing but there to scream along.
Yeah.
Like I think it's pretty cool, and Demon Hunter doesn't do it very often. This is a song where they do.
Yeah, and in this song they even scream together at parts.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there's both of them. That's super cool.
Yeah. So I really like that dynamic, I think, a lot. I love the guitars in this, and I like the message. I really like the message.
Yeah.
The idea of fighting back against your addictions that you have.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's times in your life where there's things where it just feels like there's no way out, right? I'm just stuck. Even when it looks like that, you're never stuck. Some people struggle with a lot of things. And I think I was looking at the lyrics and reading about what Ryan Clark said this was about, and talking about addictions that people have, drug addictions, alcohol, stuff like that. Some people really have those, and you can get lost thinking that I will never be able to not be dependent on this, right? Because I've gone too far. I've made too many of those decisions to get me to the point that I am. There's no turning back.
They've now identified as that.
Yeah. There's no turning back. And even when it feels like that, there still is hope, right? For the most lost person or the most addicted person or whatever it is, there's always hope. You can never go too far. Like, that's comforting, and I think the just breathe part is to pause and realize that too far is not too far for Jesus.
Yep.
And that's a pretty awesome message.
I really like one of the things that Ryan Clark said was an addiction was habitual misuse of free will.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, like that like hits everything.
It does, yeah.
But it reminds me of a guy that I've been talking to on Discord, and he's doing something that I don't think I could do, and I'm super impressed, and he's super awesome. But he is fasting from metal. So no Christian metal, secular metal, whatever. Just I think it was like 3 months or something.
Wow.
And like I've never thought about that, right? People are like, oh, I'm not going to eat sweets, or I'm going to stop watching R-rated movies, or, I'm going to stop playing video games, right? And those are all things that I've thought about. I've never done. Like, I've never fasted from TV or anything, but the thought of, like, I've been listening to too much metal and not focusing on God, so I'm going to stop for 3 months and refocus. And I'm like, there's an addiction,
Yeah.
Super impressive. He knows who he is, and some of you guys know who he is, but awesome guy.
Yeah. That's definitely, and so fasting from metal music, hopefully not metal podcasts. Just kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and I think it speaks to all sorts of things. Like, like we're so addicted to our phones. We're so addicted to our TVs. We're so addicted to everything, man. And to realize, to have that thought that you need to stop, focus on God, put the priorities first that need to be first. I mean that's what it's all about. It's all about stopping and thinking and realizing that you're not going to be in this forever. You can stop and you can focus and you can get back with God.
Yeah. So getting back to the song, the chorus I've said is what I love, and I think it's because of, again, the production and how they put the chorus together and married it to breakdowns and guitar solos. And that last chorus before that guitar solo is just so good. Wait for the end, fight back, this isn't over.
Yeah.
Nuts guitar solo. And the Speedy Boy drums in the background with that guitar solo. It's just so much fun. And when it's all done and it's building back up and you got those guitars going like, wow, 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 wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Awesome. Yes.
And when it comes right back in, boom, back to the chorus. Like, it's so good. And the way it ends after that last chorus with "This Isn't Over," and they're both screaming it, and they're just holding it, and I'm like, man, that's where the song should start.
Yeah.
Like, the next song should be both of these guys doing this breakdown scream that's like, this isn't over. Like, such a good outro. They need to do that kind of stuff in their music. All their outros have been amazing to me.
Right.
Where I'm just like, wait, don't end. Replay.
No, overall, it's an awesome song. And man, we say this every time. Awesome message, you know?
So, Tyler, let's take our deep dive to the next song, Shallow Water. You want to know something interesting, dude? The intro of this song. That high-pitched guitar. Yeah, that thing. So, I'm not a big fan of it.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's just really repetitive, and it goes on and on. And that same year, so that's the year I got married. Lots of road trips, driving up to the honeymoon and stuff. Listened to lots of albums. That same year, the same guitarist in the Showdown had another song called Dogma Enthroned with a very similar thing as well. I mean, it's not exactly the same. Showdown's version is in shorter bursts, and I think it's even higher, so it equals on the scale of I'm not a big fan of this. But I don't know, it's just so in your face, and the rest of the guitar tones don't match it. You know, they're much lower and chunkier to have this, like, in your face, like, I'm like, I get it, all right.
Yeah. See, okay, I actually really like that part. Like, for all the negativity that I've brought into Demon Hunter, like, I like this type of guitar riff, and I'm okay with it. Okay. It is different, and it reminds me of a band. It's not the Showdown, now that I'm thinking about it.
Secular? Christian?
I don't know. But either way, like, the riff's pretty cool.
Oh, no, that's Taylor Swift's voice.
Oh, that's what it is, yes. I've listened to my share of Taylor Swift over the years.
Yeah.
My wife's a Swiftie, so. This song's really good, I think. The chorus is super catchy.
Yes.
You know, and so I think we've said that a few times. And the interesting thing about Demon Hunter, I think, is they're popular, and I think part of the reason they're popular is because they put out a lot of catchy tunes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's some heaviness, obviously. Even in this song, there's heaviness. And they've got some really heavy songs, especially on this album. But they put out some really catchy, groovy choruses.
Yeah, they have a hook.
They do.
They're good at their hooks.
And you catch yourself singing them. And this in Shallow Water is no exception.
Yep.
Right? So I really like the chorus. I really like a lot of parts of this song. But my favorite part, Gary, is the, like, kind of like before the last chorus, when they sing, "May it redeem their eyes." And then Ryan comes in, and he comes in all snarly and all mad, and he says, "May you redeem their..." And he says, like, eyes, and then he talks the next, like, bridge part, which is super cool, to take your eternal stand before it pulls you in. And then it's super heavy.
Yeah.
Love it. Just kind of, it's not really a breakdown, but I guess se it is.
You'd think it would be, because when it comes out of that chorus, that snare is just like, pop, 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 pop. And you're like, oh, here it comes. This is a sleeping giant thing. It's going to happen. And then you just get boom, boom, guitar solo kind of thing. Yeah. That's kind of mellow, but
It's still really cool. And then it goes into the chorus again as it ends, and it goes back into that riff at the very end of the song. Yeah. The intro riff, and
they sandwich it.
Yeah. It's a great song though.
Yeah, the strength is definitely the chorus.
Yes, I agree. Lyrically though, Gary, what is Shallow Water all about?
Oh, man. How'd you know I would know this?
Dude, you're Gary Erickson, man.
What if one day I don't know?
There will never be a day. That will be the day the world ends.
So, I mean, it's kind of like lukewarm Christians. It's the Christians in shallow water, not in the deep end.
Just dipping their toes in.
Yeah, there's like a pre-chorus that he says every time. It might just be a verse at the beginning, but he says, "See now, every scar is a choice you make. Every choice is a vow you take. Take pity upon your fate." And it's kind of saying, to take responsibility for your actions. Your sins did this to yourself. Yeah. And the song's kind of about like, as a Christian, we need to suffer, and we need to take responsibility for our actions, and we need to make sacrifices to better ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, if you don't really see the bigger picture. He has that line in the chorus that says, "Sleepwalk through heaven's call, no forest for the trees." Right? So it's like, you're not seeing the bigger picture. You're only seeing trees. You're not seeing the whole forest. And you're sleepwalking through God's call in your life because, well, you're in shallow water. Which makes the chorus super awesome when he says, "Sons and daughters, pray for the rain. May it redeem their eyes." It's like, for one, the rain's going to make the water a little deeper, but, it's going to clear out their eyes so they can actually see these trees. They can see the forest for the trees. I mean, I've always been a big fan of Ryan's lyrics, and I really like how, if you don't read the lyrics, I mean, the chorus itself, you're like, wow, these are great words. This is catchy. Like, I could sing this. This is great. But if you dig into it, you get more out of it, and I think it makes it mean a lot more to you, too.
Yeah. It's like the shallow water Christian has heard everything. Mm-hmm. They've obviously heard the gospel. They probably go to church. They hear it every week. They know maybe even what's right.
Yep.
But are they practicing it?
Right.
Right? Are they walking the walk?
Yeah. Are they facing oppressions because of what they believe?
Yeah.
Or are they just living life normally because no one knows that they're even a Christian?
That's good. Yeah, that's a great point.
But yeah, slamming song.
It is. So what's your favorite part?
The chorus. I mean, sure, the intro, it's 10 seconds or something, and I can get through that. And it's not like it drives me up the wall or makes me go, skip it. But it's just something that, I don't know. Just
grinds your gears a little bit.
But once the song's going, and the chorus starts, you're like, oh yeah, this is a great song.
See, I feel like it fits it, man. I feel like it fits the drums and it fits the song, but I can
it would have been cooler. This is going to be an opinion, but if that guitar solo, I don't know if like the key of the guitar or something wasn't the same as the intro to really help it blend in, but it's not.
No, yeah.
It's just like, hey, this intro sounds too much like another song's intro. What can we do to make it sound different? How about this?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'm sure someone else out there is like, that's the best part about the whole album, and Gary hates it.
Then you're just gonna get hated on. That's for okay. Sure.
I get in trouble all the time. It's cool.
Either way, Shallow Water is a great song. Mm-hmm. And that takes us to the next track, which is Feel As Though You Could.
Sing the song you know so well. Sing it one, fight it out.
Okay, so Feel As Though You Could, and it says featuring Dave Peters. I already know, Gary, you got the info on who Dave Peters is.
Yeah, I do.
I knew you did. Okay, so who is he?
He's from a band called Throwdown.
Oh, I've actually heard of Throwdown, yeah.
Well, there you go.
They make me want to throw down.
I think that's what their name is.
Kind of hardcore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And this song, truthfully, kind of is a hardcore song.
I think so too, yeah.
So what are your initial thoughts on this?
I really like it. It's a pretty heavy one. The chorus only happens like maybe 3 times. Yeah. And, the chorus has the cleans in it. Overall thoughts, I think it's really cool. I like the whole meaning of the song and why he wrote it. Or the inspiration.
Okay, so what's the inspiration?
All right, we're going to jump right into that one.
Yeah, let's do it.
So around this time, there was a lot of people, I think, in Europe burning Christian churches. Huh. And I'll say the political statement was that they were trying to regain their pagan land back that Christians took, kind of thing. But ultimately, they're trying to destroy Christianity. So this is kind of in that, it's kind of a back in their faces kind of song, that you can't destroy this. This Christianity doesn't burn. Sure, physically we do, but you can't destroy an idea or a thought or a faith or God.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like mocking the whole like rebellion, anarchy, chaos type of mindset, and just kind of turning it and saying, it's kind of like that bridge. I'll jump right into the bridge. He says, "Ignite upon these words and breathe defeat. Your shallow deeds make hell for wood and stone, flesh and bone, this alone." Yeah. So it's like you burning these buildings or these Christians, you're only doing it to the physical.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What about you? What parts of the song do you like?
So this is going to be so out of left field. But this reminds me, especially when they like hold out that guitar, it's just like brrr, and like stuff's going on, like screaming and stuff in the background. But it's just like an open note, like held out, like super crunchy. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like that reminds me so much of the Great Commission.
Really?
Yes, like it just reminds me of like that's what the Great Commission did. And I went like as I was like looking at this song, I went and listened again to the Great Commission's album, like the Heavy Worship album,
mm-hmm.
and Draw the Line kind of reminds me of this.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean minus the everything else, but
right.
just the holding out of the guitar and the way that they kind of scream behind it is pretty cool. Yeah, I wrote that this is a hardcore song and it's super fun. Like the way that they do the vulture circle, like that verse.
Dude, yeah, I love that.
Like,
the way he's like,
so cool.
Vultures circle. Like I think that's Dave Peters. Like
I think so too. That's what I was gonna ask because it doesn't really sound like something that Ryan Clark does vocally.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of like puts a swing in his scream,
Yeah, and that's the hardcore feeling of the song. I think is like that verse or whatever.
Well, I mean, those drums too are going fast, and they're doing that like punk sound that really gives it that lightweight, speedy feel.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that has to be him, right? That's not Ryan Clark.
I'm sure. I'm sure it is him.
Yeah. And it totally changes the dynamic of the song. But this is, and we've said this before, like the addition of like guest vocalists with Demon Hunter is pretty cool because you get like a totally different sound than you normally do. And obviously people are gonna like, well, Tyler, like that happens with every band. Yeah, but not true. Not really. Not really.
Yeah.
Like, I guess maybe Sleeping Giant, you just like, oh yeah, every song is gonna have a guest vocalist. But like for me, like their sounds don't change a ton with guest vocalists. For today's songs don't change a ton, in my opinion, with guest vocalists. And now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, shoot, Arm the Masses totally changes.
You know what I was thinking of?
What's that one with Levi the Poet with Sleeping Giant? Like, oh yeah, that changed. Just contradicting myself.
I was thinking of War of Ages when Tim Lambesis comes in.
That's a great one.
For that, it's only like 10 seconds. Not even. I think it was like 8 seconds. You know, we were complaining about it.
And you don't even know.
Yeah, and it's that barely changes anything because it's like, that's him. Like, that totally sounds like the way Tim screams. But it's like right at the end of the song, and it's like the last 3 words. And it's like, that's all you could scream on that War of Ages song?
That's a great example. Yes. Yeah, and so, I mean, that part's cool. I love that change up and how it feels like a hardcore song. I will say the end where he says, like, burn this down, the outro, kind of a weird vibe.
So I listened really close to that. So yeah, we were joking before, I think, on our discussion thing, how they do this like weird grunting.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is happening? Like, and you read the lyrics and it says, oh, Ryan says burn this down, and there's just says no. And I'm like, he doesn't say no.
Yeah.
So I listened, and I'm pretty sure that the weird grunting sounds is them saying burn this down, but reversed.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, like what a lot of like satanic type bands do, you know? You play a song backwards and, oh, it's the devil.
Like, that would be dope. That would be cool because...
I'm pretty sure it is. Listen to the very last thing that's said. You can kind of hear a Sith for this. And then, burn this down. Pretty sure that's what's happening. But otherwise, if it's not, it's like, dude, what are you guys doing? You're like arm wrestling or something? And they're like...
I got like weird, like... Down with the Sickness, you know, like that super weird bridge vibes. You know that part where he talks
where
about
his mom comes into the studio and just starts beating him while he's recording?
No, mommy. Like, I think I might have told you this before, but like that used to be like our go-to workout song when I played football in high school. And like we're like working out and stuff, and all of a sudden that part came on and everyone was like, yeah, we're gonna turn
I'm not okay with this.
I'm gonna turn this down.
Where's the radio edit?
You don't got the radio edit for this?
Yeah.
Dude, I got some of those vibes at the end. He's just like, so if he's really saying it backwards, that's actually awesome. I wonder if we could get a little fact checker for that, because that'd be cool.
Well, shall we move on to the next song?
Yes, sir.
Which is Blood in the Tears.
Don't come on quietly when you draw near. Don't go on loudly. Don't leave me here. I'll wither quickly in winter's cold, but carry onward. I was told, like blood in the tears of all my enemies.
So, I think I listed in our discussion episode that this was one of my least favorite.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
I might have even said it was, or I might have said the next one is. But it's hard because I really like the song. I mean, as from like, you know, a ballad standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to sing along to. It's catchy. The lyrics kind of are weird. You know, praying for your enemies to have blood in the tears, right? But yeah, I don't know. What are your initial thoughts, Tyler?
I assumed you loved this song because you're like every Demon Hunter ballad you love. Like there hasn't, I feel like there hasn't been one that we've talked about that you're like, man, this is lame. You're always like, oh, it's great. So it surprises me a little bit that you're not a huge fan.
Yeah, so okay, I'll get to the part that I don't like.
Okay.
So, you know, 3/4 of the way through a song, which is always like the best part of a song.
Yes.
There's that build, and it just gets really loud and heavy and slow, and it's like, I like that clean singing that he does with like that really heavy tone, and you got the double bass pedals going, but they're going slow, just like and you're like, here it comes, we're about to get heavy, and it all just cuts out, and you have this like robot synth echo voice. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think it's the chorus, right?
Yes.
Because the whole build-up, he says that cleansing red, wake the dead. And you like got the double bass, and it comes back and like blood in the tears. And it's just so robotic, and like, it's just like, all those effects.
You've got to realize, Gary, throughout the years, I've allowed myself to be tricked by Demon Hunter ballads. To where there's a point in the song where you think, oh my goodness, this is going to get brutal. And it doesn't.
You complained about this for Impending Doom as well.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
The song that, what is it? The one that Ryan Clark's on, the instrumental.
Light Unseen.
Whatever they call it. Light Unseen. My Light Unseen. There's this point to where Ryan...
Such a good song.
...is about to get heavy with his vocals. And you're like, here it comes. And no, it doesn't.
Yep, they pull the rug out.
And this one, too, you get this point, and it's about 3/4 way through the song and the ending, where it's like heavy guitars.
Mm-hmm.
The double bass pedal's going slow, and it's like, man, this is gonna be sick. It kind of sounds like musically like Holy Name, like what they do.
Yep, totally. That's spot on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I was like, man, this could be pretty sweet, and then it goes into his electronic singing.
So
that's who they are, Gary.
Dude,
you know that.
That's killed so many songs for me. So like, okay, here's another one that everyone's gonna be mad at me about. There's a song I absolutely love on their newer album, War, called Lesser Gods. Like, it is so heavy. It is so awesome. It would probably be like my favorite Demon Hunter song if he didn't put that weird like reverb echo effect in the chorus when he sang. And I'm just like, that's just too weird. Like, I want to hear his voice like go through clean. And adding that effect on every single chorus that he did on that, I get upset.
Didn't you like that album though?
It's all right.
It's one of the ones you liked that they released, the newer ones.
I probably like Peace better than War.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I don't know.
Interesting.
I'd have to sit down and think about that.
Yeah.
We've been talking on our Discord about what's everyone's favorite. And people are like, obviously Storm the Gates of Hell, and other people are like, no, that's their worst one. And they do so much different stuff that really like tickles people's fancy.
Yeah.
Specifically on an album. And so some people, they think War is just the best. It's the best thing they've ever done. And other people are like, no way. I've only listened to it once and I can't do it. And, it's crazy that this same band can do that. And on that same talk, we also argued about, you and I did, about who they sound like secularly. Right. We can't do it. Even people on Discord are trying to argue about it. And we put out a poll on our last episode. And it's like, who do you guys think they sound like? And everyone's arguing. I mean, there's like 4 bands that are up there. There's like Avenged Sevenfold, Slipknot,
Five
Finger Death Punch, and Stone Sour or something. I mean, they're all kind of right there. But it's kind of cool because there's so many other Christian bands that it's like, they're just the Christian version of blah, And then Demon Hunter is the opposite, There's not really like a...
Right.
Name that band that they're a copycat of.
Yeah, and there's not a ton of like even Christian bands that are doing the same stuff as Demon Hunter either.
Yeah.
We can say some bands that kind of fit their genre, but I mean,
well, you'd be like, it's like that song from Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get back to the song we're talking
about. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Blood in the Tears.
Yeah.
So what I really like about this song is the song is basically a lamentation. He's struggling, having a hard time. He's withering quickly in winter's cold, but he carries on. And what he really wants is a sign from God to show the non-believers, or these people he's constantly fighting with and arguing with, it seems like. And he's like, show them a sign, like blood in the tears. And, to leave a trail of blood to where Christ died on the cross, right? Where he was, what he did for them.
Yeah, definitely cool lyrics. I'll never say the lyrics aren't great for Demon Hunter because I think they're really thoughtful and stuff. It's just, man, ballads I just can't get into. I just can't do it, man.
I don't know what's wrong with you, man.
And I listen to a lot of, like, indie stuff, too. That's, like, slow and, like, stripped down, and I love it. But I can't listen to ballads.
I don't know, dude.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. To me, very peaceful song, relaxing,
Yeah.
thought-provoking. Do I want to go running to it or working out with it? Like, no. But, long drive. Sure.
Sure, why not? Throw it on.
So, shall we move on to the last song?
The last one.
Desire the Pain.
Song on this album, Desire the Pain, man. It is a good song lyrically. I'll say that. I don't know. Like, there's a few parts, and it's not.
It makes it sound like you don't like it. You're like,
no.
The lyrics are good.
It's definitely not. There's just like, even like the guitar that they use, it's like the airplane, I always thought in my mind, type of guitar, where it's like,
yeah, that
far
90s,
away, and
it's got like that weird, like, circling reverb thing.
It's
boy,
cool, but it's just different, and it doesn't really feel like it gets heavy. Vocally, there's some heaviness to it, but the music's not heavy. But I do kind of get, like, why this was the song they ended with.
Well, technically, this is a bonus track, right?
Yeah, true.
So, there's not like this isn't an official on the album.
Right. That's a good point. I guess that does make a little more sense.
Yeah. So this one didn't technically make the cut, right, for the full-on album. But living in the digital world, we have the deluxe edition. Might as well be slapped onto the end anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
But yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on this?
I really like the lyrics. The chorus is like the longest chorus.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it might feel like a ballad, because the verses, he's screaming and stuff, and they got some cool groovy riffs in between, and the bridge and stuff. But the chorus is just longer. But I feel like it is a good conclusion to the album.
It is.
Because it has like the themes of like 3 songs kind of, tied into it. It made me think of Shallow Water, made me think of Just Breathe, and it made me think of Tie This Around Your Neck.
Oh, yeah.
Just in lyrical stuff, that he says, we desire the pain and the remorse and all this. And basically our dying will is to feed on our filth and on our greed and on wealth.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we do. And the whole point of the song, to me, I think, is to desire to have remorse for your sins. Mm-hmm. Like, for one, to know what your sin is. And for two, to feel bad about it. And to feel the weight of it.
Yeah.
And then eventually he wants, to desire the release of that and to be forgiven, and eventually to chase it away, right?
Yeah.
To fight off your temptations. And I think that's such a Christian thing, because that's totally what most of our, altar calls and prayer requests and stuff is like, help me see the sin in my life that I don't see, kind of thing, and like help me not do it, and be good at fighting it off and resisting whatever that sin is. And
right.
I think it wraps up the album really well with that kind of a lyric.
Yeah, and it's so good because, like, you think about it, and as Christians, I think you, every single day, hopefully, you see how sinful or more sinful you are, right? As you get more, like, sanctified, as you get closer to God, as you read the Word, as you pray, you start seeing other areas of your life that were kind of blinded before, that you didn't really see. And, like, part of this song, I feel like, is asking God, show me those areas. I want to have weight of that, right? I want to make sure to feel that. And that's pretty heavy.
Totally. You just need to have kids. Then you really get to see how prideful you are and how selfish you are. And
yeah. Gosh, and it's just, it is interesting to desire the pain, to want to see the pain of your sin. So you can address it, so you can get better, so you can become more Christ-like. And that's what the whole album's about, is like not being like this world, being different.
Yeah.
Right? Because this world is a thorn, and it sucks.
Yep. Right?
There's a lot of bad stuff out there, and those bad things, they want to take us down. They want to be, it looks good, but it's not good, right? And the whole album, I think the main theme that we talked about is just not conforming.
Yeah, and right? To stick with the analogy of the world is a thorn, I feel like as Christians we can get to a spot where the thorns don't hurt so much, and we just kind of nestle in there, and we're like, this is perfect. Like,
yep.
The world's not hurting me as much, but I'm also not suffering or moving forward or making any change or doing anything. And I think Ryan's point lyrically with this album is like, you gotta move through the thorns. You gotta feel the pain. Some of the songs are like, man up and own what you've done. Some songs are, like kind of like a battle cry, I'll say, for like Christians to like encourage them to keep moving, even though like we're being attacked or life's difficult or we're sinning and sin's been done to us. It's a great album for Christians.
No, that's absolutely what it's about, and makes you think. I love albums at the end where there's like a theme and there's like an awesome lesson to take away, and we can talk about it and really think about it, and shoot, man, spread the gospel because of it. Like, it's cool.
You know what I thought about at the very end of this song / end of the album? Like, what? All the other songs actually end, right?
Turning down the volume? Is that what you're saying?
That's right. This one, it does the whole, like, well, all the other ones had an ending, like, or like a solid transition to the next song. And this one's just like, turn down the volume knob, fade out, fade out, fade out.
Yeah. That's funny. And we talked about that because that's like a War of Ages like thing we noticed, like they do quite a bit, which is cool.
Might not just be War of Ages.
No.
That
it's
might
have
been
like
a, mid-2000s metalcore thing.
We just like noticed it a lot when we were talking about War of Ages. Yeah. And now, like, when you hear it, it just like sticks out, I think, like so much. And so, I heard when I was listening to the song, thinking about it, and I'm like, there's just some dude next to the master volume just slowly turning it down right at the very end of the concert. Oh yeah, that's good.
Finn.
Yeah, no, it's a good conclusion. And am I a Demon Hunter fan after this? Always have been. That's the trick. I always have been, you fools. Like, I don't know why you're all over me because of it.
The truth is, Tyler's tired of getting picked on, so he's switching teams.
Demon Hunter is Tyler approved. Check the box. It's over.
It's not their ballads, right?
True. But Demon Hunter in general. is Tyler approved, and that Tyler approved seal means absolutely nothing. So take it for what it is.
It means a lot to me. So that wraps up our deep dive on The World Is A Thorn. Thank you to our patrons for supporting us.
Yeah, and if you like what we're doing and you love the podcast, you want to support us, buy us a cup of coffee and support us on Patreon.
You know, our patrons get perks like early access to episodes. Yeah. They get bonus content that we haven't released as part of the episode, or video versions of episodes. I'm hoping to do that more. And, you know, there's some Discord perks in there too. So
absolutely.
Thanks, and have a good night and day and morning.
And see you later.
Thank you for listening.